Welcome to the Insider's Insight podcast, where we share with you the thoughts of the individuals who are working for projects that are changing the world. Thank you to our sponsor, Creditcoin, the building blocks of trust. For more details, please visit the show notes below.
Welcome to Insider's Insight, presented by OffChain Global and BSN. We are happy to welcome our speakers today. Today, if you haven't seen the graphic already, we have Yifan He, CEO of Red Date Technology and the team behind BSN, which stands for the Blockchain Services Network. And our second speaker is Bobby Lee, the CEO of Ballet. Today's topic, it's going to be about non-crypto public chains. Some of you might be confused as to what that means, right? I think most people, when they think of the word chain, they think that it has something to do with blockchain, which is relevant to crypto and so on and so forth. So we're going to have these two experts speak about what this means and where the confusion lies and where the difference lies and so on and so forth. So I'm going to have our speakers today share their statement and their opinion. For the two speakers, Yifan and Bobby, please make sure you mute your phone while the other speaker is speaking. At the end of the debate, we will have a Q&A part. So if you guys have any questions during the debate, hold on to it until the end of the debate. So please stay with us until the end. So without further ado, let's start out with each of our debaters, each of our speakers giving us some background on themselves, their organizations, and when was the first time they heard of the word public chain. So let's start out with Yifan from the Red Date Technology team.
Hi, my name is Yifan He, and I'm the CEO of Red Date Tech. And it's the first time I heard about blockchain. I think it's around 2016, but we really begin to try to understand. It's like 2018, so we are very, personally, I'm a very latecomer. So to the blockchain industry and, to understand the blockchain technology. But once we, understood it in 2018 and, the way we understand it is not really about, cryptocurrency, everything. We see this as pure technology. So the way we really think about this is, besides the cryptocurrency, where we can use this technology, to make a better, IT system, to, better fulfill some IT needs for the, governments, big corporations, small, medium companies, even individuals. So that's basically what we're working on. So that's how we created, BSN, with our partners.
Okay, thank you. Next, can we have Bobby Lee, the CEO of Ballet, just talk about their background, their organization right now, and when was the first time you heard the word public chain?
Hi, everyone. My name is Bobby Lee. I'm currently the founder and CEO of Ballet. Ballet, we make hardware wallets for securing your crypto assets, whether it's cryptocurrency, tokens, or NFTs. Ballet has been around for 3.5 years, and prior to that, I was the co-founder and CEO of BTCC, previously known as BTC China, the very first Bitcoin exchange in China. So I've been in this crypto space, learned about Bitcoin in 2011. So it's been a little over 11 years since I got into cryptocurrency. And for me, public blockchain, I think, is sort of redundant, because in my mind, blockchain was invented with the advent of Bitcoin, and blockchain by definition, in my mind, is public. Any blockchain that is not public, such as a private blockchain or consortium blockchain, that's relegated to the technology that we know very well as databases. So for me, blockchain, or if you want to call it public blockchain, when I first heard of it was in the year 2011, when I first got exposed to Bitcoin, the very successful cryptocurrency that started the whole cryptocurrency revolution, so to speak. So that's my background and sort of perspective on blockchains. Thank you.
Thank you, Bobby. So yes, both of our speakers have introduced themselves. Let's get right into the topic, right? If you guys haven't seen the graphic yet, the graphic of tonight's Twitter space, the title being why do crypto people dislike non-crypto chains, right? There seems to be a lot of misconceptions about it, miscommunications about it. So let's start it off right off the bat, right? Just now, I asked you guys, when you heard the word public chain, alluding to blockchains, right? What about the definition of a non-crypto public chain? I want to start with Bobby on this, since Bobby is the crypto Bitcoin OG. So Bobby, for your question first, right? What is your definition of a non-crypto public chain, considering in all your years working in this space, and have you had any exposure to it?
So the concept is novel. I spoke with Yifan a few weeks ago in preparation for this debate, and I guess BSN is trying to do that, create the non-crypto blockchain for the community in China. And to me, I'm quite skeptical at how you can have a blockchain, a public blockchain, a decentralized public blockchain. And by the way, that's my definition, right? A blockchain has to be public and decentralized. Otherwise, you would use other words in a dictionary to describe the system you have in front of you. So if it's both public and decentralized, then that sort of, at the minimum, qualifies for blockchain. And to me, I haven't seen a successful implementation of a blockchain that doesn't utilize a cryptocurrency token underpinning it. So to answer your question, Eric, I don't understand how that would work.
Fair enough. Yifan, are you in agreement on Bobby's response? If not, what would you like to say back?
Yeah, first, I totally understood why Bobby said that. So I'm fully understand. I totally agree with him. If blockchain is only for crypto applications, okay. If that's sole purpose, then no problem. So the public chain should be like the public chain today in order to host a global crypto. Okay, so there's no problem with that. But the thing is, in this world, there are so many applications which need to be transparent, which need to be accessed by millions of people easily, and also, there's kind of IT requirements, for users to control their own data in a public environment, not to save their personal data into those big companies' back-end system. So that's where the blockchain, come in and serve other needs. I think we first need to define, what's the purpose of the public chains. So if the purpose is just for crypto, I think Bitcoin is a wonderful system for cryptocurrency. It's probably the best system out there, just for the cryptocurrency. Ethereum is, a little bit more useful, but, too many distractions, with the smart contract, everything. So, but remember, how you can use the public chain for other needs. Then you need a different type of, the public chain to function. Sometimes, for example, you can have a total, public chain with, 1 million nodes, but there's just, 3 of them try to do a private transaction. So you need something like a private consensus, to build a small consensus among those 3 nodes. You don't want just for very, very little transaction among 3 partners, and you have to sync them to all the nodes and use up resources. So that's just one simple example. So the public chain, what we see is not, first the cryptocurrency is is a viable application. Okay, there's so many users, so many, companies working on that. So it totally makes sense, but there are just other needs. So what we're trying to do is, to fulfill the markets of the other needs for the, public IT systems. First, the public chain, we actually don't really use, from our BSN perspective, we don't even like the word blockchain. Okay, not like private blockchain, public blockchain. We don't like blockchain this name. Because
what would you prefer?
We actually think there will be a type of new IT system called a public IT system. So it's compared
public
to
IT system. IT as an information technology.
Yes,
IT.
yes. Exactly. It's basically compared to all the IT systems today. We call them private IT systems.
Yifan, another question back to you, right? From my notes in researching the BSN Spartan network, from what I know is that the BSN Spartan network is utilizing USDC. Now, USDC, isn't that also crypto? Can you kind of explain the rationale and
Okay.
why? Yeah.
Okay. Basically, it's personally, I don't like crypto, but cryptocurrency, I think it makes sense to many other people. So if other people want to use them, I respect that. Many of my friends are in crypto industry, so I respect that. Okay, as long as don't break the law. So, but I consider first the cryptocurrency in my definition is a speculative asset. Okay, you can trade on that, you can do that. Stablecoin is another matter. Okay, stablecoin is a payment-related currency. So I consider USDC, even USDT, okay, is not as reliable as the USDC, but I still consider them as a payment-related stablecoin. So it's totally in another industry. Okay, it's a payment currency industry, not in cryptocurrency, speculative asset industry. So those are the two different things.
Understood. Fair enough. Now, Bobby, question to you. Obviously, we all know your opinions about these quote unquote non-crypto public chains. What would you say is the better term for it, right? I think we've heard of other terms in the industry to kind of describe this kind of network as maybe like enterprise blockchain. What would you describe these networks?
I think blockchain, the word blockchain has been stolen by too many people for marketing purposes. I think blockchain should remain fundamentally a decentralized public system ledger. Right? It should be decentralized and public. If it's not decentralized, if it's not public, call it something else. Don't call it blockchain. That's my opinion. There's a great catch-all term called database. I love databases. I use databases all my life. Many of the companies I do business with use amazing databases to conduct their business. It may be boring, it may be old, but databases do the job. So
fair point.
So, just go with the correct terminology. If you're using questionable terminology for marketing purposes, then all you're doing is hype. And to me, that's not authentic.
It's kind of funny, crypto industry, talking about hype and marketing. it's a little bit funny. But as long as the blockchain, the name is not copyright, I think anybody can use it. Even someone, is a farmer raising sheep in, a countryside, they can call, its sheep as the blockchain. So,
sure. But that's why people don't think highly of people who do that.
Let's say this. You need to ask me first on the title what I call those public chains, what they are first. Okay, that's how we start the whole debate from the definition of the terms in the title.
Go ahead.
Okay. So let me explain from here. Then you can ask questions. Okay. Then we have probably some common ground to discuss or debate. Okay. So we don't involve like a Chinese government. We don't involve.
We've never. By the way, for the record, we've never involved the Chinese government. At least I haven't.
Okay. Thank you. So then let me emphasize, non-crypto public chains are for outside China, not building this in China to please the Chinese government, as you said before. Okay. So
as I speculated.
Okay. You mentioned it. Okay. So non-crypto public chain, what we're building, we will going to launch 3 non-crypto public chains. The first one called the non-crypto Ethereum. The second one called the non-crypto Cosmos. The third one called the non-crypto Polygon. Okay, we are working with professional teams to put them together. And we are not only, really building those chains. We are not really building them. We are building the Spartan network, and we integrate those non-crypto public chains. Our partners building with us those public chains, and some of them even the core team of the public chains. Okay, and the reason why we call that non-crypto. So the next question is supposed to be, what's the difference with non-crypto Ethereum and the regular Ethereum? So let me go here. Okay. Totally the same. Let me finish, Bobby. So then you can ask questions. Okay. Otherwise we are going nowhere. Okay. So they actually exactly the same as Ethereum. The only thing we're working with, the tech team is to take out the layer 1 native cryptocurrency. Okay, like a ETH.
Yeah, I've heard you say that before.
Okay,
yes.
Okay. And we make actually exactly technical term. We don't really take them out. We make them non-transferable. Okay, which means the wallet is still there, the ETH is still there. We change the name to energy. Okay, then you use fiat money to buy those fixed price, but that ETH become a utility token which is not transferable. So we call the token, the name is NTT. Okay, non-tradable token, which means you cannot give the entity to any other chain accounts or any other wallet. So what you can do is consume them to pay for the gas. Then you run your smart contract to call any smart contract you want. Okay.
How do you get more of them if you run out?
Can you repeat the question?
How do you get more NTTs if you run out of NTTs?
Purchase at a fixed price with fiat money. Just like you are paying for the AWS resources.
Okay, understand. Let me ask you this. So they're paying a centralized entity for it, right? The issuance of the entity, is it centralized or decentralized?
It's decentralized.
Are you sure?
Yes, because
the issuance of it, the payment of it.
Yes. Actually, it generates from your nodes. No one issuing from centralized system.
So you're buying.
This is the right question.
You're buying it from other people.
No.
So the issuance of it is centralized. If you're buying it, are you buying?
No.
Let me ask you. So let's say I want to participate on your non-crypto Ethereum.
Bobby, let me explain. This is actually the right question to ask. Very good. Okay. So first, all the entity is issued on each node. Okay, issued on each node because there's no centralized system to issue the entity.
Understand?
Is
it tradable?
No, it's not tradable. It's not.
But
tradable.
Yet you said you could buy it with fiat currency.
Let me explain this from beginning. Okay, first you set up the nodes, and all the issuing is within your own nodes, and issue your entity based on your usage and a bunch of
Understand?
But the issuing is always on your nodes. Okay. Then once you consume that, remember, once you consume, because you need to run, your smart contract, do your business, do that, you consume the entity, and then the entity goes to a master account. Okay, remember, it just goes to a master account for you to run
it just depletes. Understand?
Yes. Then when you purchase from the master account. Okay, but
so that's what I mean. So let me ask you this. So if I'm purchasing from the master account,
let me finish. The master account never issue new entity.
Understand?
So
if I'm purchasing, Okay, so I'm purchasing from the master account. Therefore, it's a centralized authority that's selling me the fiat money entity.
The master account is also a decentralized account. It's transparent to anyone to check anything. Okay.
But who is the fiat money going to? When I pay fiat money to buy NTT, if I need more NTT, I'm using fiat money to buy it.
Yeah.
Who am I paying?
All the partners to set up the Spartan network. That's a decentralized cloud services. There's like 20 to 30 companies running that together in 2 years. In the beginning, there will be 10 companies running that. Okay. So
I
remember, it's a IT infrastructure. It's like a decentralized cloud service. It's a business infrastructure. Okay.
I understand.
So it's,
but let me.
Yeah.
So if I need more entity, I can buy from the master account and make payment to this group consortium, and they get benefit in fiat money from my payment. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. And no one else can trade the entity. People can only buy it, but they cannot sell it. Correct? Because the entities are not transferable.
Exactly.
Aside from the master account. Okay.
Yes.
So the entity acts as a unit of account to arbitrate scarcity. Correct?
I don't understand the question.
So my question is, in the real Ethereum, you have scarcity. That's why people bid up gas fees, and the same thing happens in Bitcoin and other UTXO-based cryptocurrencies.
It's fixed.
So scarcity is because a blockchain
it's
is a scarce, limited resource infrastructure network, and due to the scarcity at different times of day, different days of the year, the price, the gas fee is different. In your example, for your Ethereum, cryptoless Ethereum, is there the notion of scarcity, or is it always the same price for gas?
Right now, in the beginning, it's fixed. In the beginning, right now, this is a very good question. Okay, but right now, in the first 6 months, we make that fixed. When there's a higher traffic, because it's still Ethereum, it's still Cosmos, it's still Polygons, so the TPS is limited. So when the traffic becomes larger, then we give them, basically whoever pays more, and their transaction will be executed first. So that system will be there after 6 months if the traffic, it's too large to handle.
Okay, so if I could pay more NTT to have priority on my execution of my smart contract traffic, and if I run out of NTT, I can buy it from the master source using fiat currency. But normally I don't run out because I generate my own NTT at my node.
Yeah, but right now we our plan right now is even for that we put a cap, which means you cannot go through the cap because the fundamental purpose for this is we need to keep the internal network very, very low cost. For example, right now for the fixed price, I can give you a benchmark. If you mint a standard ERC 721 NFT, it costs you 3 cents US dollar, 3 cents. Okay. So when we begin say, okay, there's just too many, traffic here the TPS couldn't handle it, then we probably, people pay a little bit more so you can get a, better, priority. But, we plan to give a cap. It's no more than, 10 cents. That's it. The cap will be, triggered, because we don't want, this become, a high priced, a network for people, too expensive to use. So then at that time, if it's capped, then people just wait online. Then
let me ask you,
other chains. Yeah.
So let me ask you. So you are essentially proposing that there's a committee to set the prices, right?
Yes.
So there's a centralized planning committee.
10 company, 20 company will set the price. How much? Actually, the NTT is always 1-to-1 to US dollar. Okay, the NTT is always 1-to-1, but the one NTT to the gas ratio, that will be, can be adjusted. But, in our charter, the price, the fixed price only can increase or decrease 20% each quarter. Okay, so we need to keep the internal network low cost and the fixed cost as small as possible.
So at the nodes, do I get the entities for being a node?
Yes. You actually, first, when you set up a node, you will reward, because you spend resources fee in order to even set up the nodes.
Yeah,
right?
I understand.
So
I
you will
am getting,
get some.
The entity that I'm getting, does it have worth? Is it valuable? Does it have value?
I don't think it has value because it's not tradable. So anything not tradable, first you need to have business needs. Let me say that. First, why you even set up nodes? Because you have, business needs for the network. It's just like, if you don't have needs, why you even go to AWS, open an account and pay AWS, right? You have a business need to fulfill. So that's why you set up a node. when you set up nodes, you will reward, free entity to you, at least for you to free testing the network, do whatever you want, with the entity. Then the new entity will be generated based on the usage. Based on the usage, we reward the incentive on the network is reward you after how much entity you spend. For example, for the free entity like 500 entity, if you spend them all next month, you get another 500 for free. But if your usage goes to, let's say, 2,000 entities, then you need to buy another 1,500 entity from the master.
Let me
account,
ask you,
right?
when I'm buying from the master account, is there KYC?
No, total anonymous.
No KYC.
That's why we use USDC. You can use USDC.
But USDC can be KYC.
Then
is that true or false?
I don't know.
My question is this.
How?
In the Western world, Yifan, I want to ask you a very legitimate question, okay? In the Western world, there's a notion of sanctioned countries. In the past, countries like North Korea, Iran, meaning citizens of North Korea, citizens of Iran are on the sanctions list, and many countries are not legally by law, they're not allowed to do business with entity countries such as people and companies in the North Korea or in Iran. You're familiar with what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with what I'm talking about?
Go ahead.
No, are you familiar with what I'm talking about, Yifan?
Yes, I think this is, asking me the question. I'm US educated. Okay.
Okay, good. No, that's fine. No, for the audience, I want to make sure, as we're conducting this debate, we're the audience can follow along. So hypothetically, if I were an agent of North Korea or Iran, and I have a company or a project or business, and I get my hands on USDC, can I buy more NTT from your master node?
Yes. Just like,
and there's no way for you to censor me.
No, because we actually keep the entire Spartan network total anonymous. Okay, total anonymous. Because remember, we are not a crypto. We are not doing trading. We are not, because entity is not transferable, so it cannot be used for money laundering.
Okay, ding, 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 ding.
It is transferable, right? If I can buy it from the master network, you're transferring it to me.
No more questions.
The master node is transferred to me.
Can you repeat the question?
Hello? Last question.
No, I just said that.
Bobby, last question, Bobby.
No, I just said that it is transferable just one time, right? If I need to buy NTTs, if my company and project needs more NTT than I have available, I need to buy more NTT. I can use fiat money to buy NTT from the master node.
Yes.
So it is.
You can use
that's a transfer.
No.
How is that not a transfer? If I give you money, you giving me NTT. How is that not a transfer?
The only transfer is between you entity account and the master.
I know.
Account.
I understand. That's still a transfer.
If you call that
is
transfer,
that's a transaction.
Yeah.
It is a transaction, right? It is a transaction which can be deemed illegitimate, or it could violate sanctions law and so on and so forth.
No, I don't think so. Then I think you don't understand the session law.
Okay,
it's like
gentlemen. This debate can go on for hours, and I think we could do this again right when BSN does launch their network. If you guys want to continue it, but I am getting pinged by the team behind me to end it. We want to be able to still leave some time for the Q&A from the community, from the users. But before we get into the Q&A, if you two, without kind of directing any more questions to each other, we want to hear your last statements in trying to encapsulate your opinion from this debate. Let's start with Bobby. Just 2 or 3 sentences.
So I think, first of all, this so-called cryptoless, blockchain, like the cryptoless Ethereum, I think that's a marketing gimmick. I think it does have crypto in there. It clearly uses NTT. It clearly uses a token. They call it a non-transferable token, but it is a token nonetheless, right? So it is still resource driven and resource limited. That's fine. People can invent that and create that. That there's nothing wrong with it. The question is, will the market adopt it? Will the market find it useful? I'm skeptical. I'm skeptical. I don't think it's a free market system. It's clearly a planned economy with planned production, planned pricing. I'm not a big fan of that. So that's my perspective.
Fair enough. Now to pivot over to Yifan, if you can kind of just wrap up your comments based on our debate that we just had in 2 or 3 sentences. What would you like to leave as your final statement?
Yeah. First, for today's debate, I think, just like what I expected, it's just two different words. Okay. Because what we are doing is serve IT industry. Okay. And, Bobby and, from crypto world, when Bobby mentioned market, it means crypto market. Okay. And it's not like IT market, like AWS is not in that market. So what we're doing is just build a IT infrastructure for traditional IT system to enjoy this kind of public chain, technology. Okay. It's not for crypto. And, it's just totally different words. I totally understand for, crypto people, the IT world is the crypto world. So that's why, always people really from the crypto industry, it's really hard to understand what we are doing. And they actually always call us doing marketing. Do you know how much money we make for the transactions? It's 20 companies make like 3 cents for each NFT minted.
Fair enough. Okay. Thank you for your remarks, Yifan. Yes. So thank you once again to our 2 speakers, Bobby Lee from Ballet and Yifan He from BSN, on the lively debate regarding non-crypto public chains. If you guys want to learn more about today's topic or any of the other opinions that both speakers have shared, go follow their Twitters, both Bobby Lee's Twitters and Yifan He's Twitter. And also, for more Twitter spaces like tonight's Twitter space, be sure to follow the 3 hosts of tonight's Twitter space, their Twitter accounts for BSN, OffChain Global, and Ballet. So thank you all again for joining today's Twitter space, and we'll see you next time. So signing off.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Yifan.
Thank you. Thank you, Bobby.
Good chatting with you, Yifan. Okay.
Bye-bye.
The Inside is Insight podcast is meant for informational purposes only and should not be considered as financial or investment advice. Nothing expressed in this podcast should be construed as a solicitation, recommendation, endorsement, or offer to buy or sell any financial products. Information expressed by the host or guest of this podcast does not necessarily reflect any views of our sponsors.